What's up top 10 fam? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Guys, after I recorded part 1 in this series, I had a glitch in the Matrix moment myself a day later and I was like, coincidence? I think not. I was walking away from my desk into the kitchen area at work to wash my hands because for some reason I just always felt there was a sink on the marble top near the microwave. Turns out there's never been a sink there, but I was so sure. I was literally just gonna go wash my hands. Like I was so sure there was one, and then I was like, whoa, a glitch moment, and then people in the office were like, wait, there's no sink there? I thought there was one there too. So I don't know guys, was it a glitch in the Matrix? You tell me. But either way, here are the top 10 scary mysterious glitches in the Matrix part 2. You're gonna wanna stick around for this. Starting us off with number 10 is Aurora. Now this one blew my mind, but I feel like anytime I read any of the glitch stories, I'm like, oh wow, much surprise, such confusion, major wow. Only OG memers will get that joke, let me know if you do get it, FYI. Either way, this one's from Reddit user Sarah X11, who said when she was 20, she used to have recurring dreams about a dark-haired woman named Aurora. They were all different dreams, but she was in every single one of them. Sarah had never met Aurora and was annoyed she kept dreaming about her, but a few months later, the dream stopped and she just forgot about it. Years later, in 2009, she was at a gas station on Halloween with a friend. As she's about to emerge onto the highway, she gets a call from an unknown number. She stops the car and answers, but no one's on the other line. Now the car behind Sarah was getting impatient, so they swerved in front of her and merged onto the highway, and the second they did, another Civic lost control and crashed into the car. Now both drivers died, and it would have 100% been Sarah had she not gotten that call. So she decided to call them back just to say thank you, but no one answered, and the voicemail said, "Hi, you've reached Aurora. Please leave your name and number." Chills. Actual goosebumps and chills. She called again the next day and Aurora answers saying she has no idea how Sarah got her number since she never called her. Confused, Sarah later adds her on Facebook and from her pictures realizes it really was the girl from her dreams whether she knew it or not. Oh, giving me the chills. Coming in at number 9 is the voicemail. I can't even wrap my head around this one, you guys, so help me out in the comments below. This one's from Redditor Kill All Extremists, who said this incident happened to them 23 years ago. He had called his friend when he wasn't home, so he left a quick voicemail on his friend's machine saying, "Hey, it's me, Kill All Extremists. Sorry I missed you. Call you later. Bye." And that was it. The user hung up, left the house, and went about his day. When he got home, his friend called back and said, "Wow, that was quite a message you left. Who was that girl you were talking to?" And the user was like, "What girl? I wasn't talking to anyone." So his friend played him the voicemail and turns out the message didn't actually end after he said bye. Apparently after he said bye there was a bit of a pause and then it continued for another 30 to 40 seconds and it was him talking to some random girl. It was his voice 100% and a girl's voice who he just couldn't recognize. At first he was like, wait, is this me? He listened to it a bunch of times and the voice, the mannerisms, it was all the same, and I mean, you know your voice better than anyone else's, so if it was his voice, I mean, I believe him. Even the content of what they were talking about made complete sense. He had to go to his shop, fix a car, etc., and then the voicemail just abruptly stopped. Now the two friends didn't have party lines or anything like that, so the user fully believes he connected to some alternate universe through this telephone answering machine or something like that, and honestly, I believe him. Imagine hearing yourself talk when it's not even you, and in this parallel universe, at least your lonely ass has a girlfriend. Not like reality, but I'm just hashtag Ayman Savage moments. At number 8 we have the Detour. This one's from Redditor Boomship, who said he was going somewhere and had to go through a train station that was getting remodeled. So construction was basically everywhere and they ended up getting lost. Now Google Maps was telling them to go on this path that didn't really exist since that whole part was off limits. There was one huge temporary plywood wall there that said under construction and unauthorized access forbidden, no entry, etc, etc. So the person was like, right, okay, clearly a no-go. But the wall had a door and people were just going in and out of it like it was just a normal door. Like normal people, like even a granny went in and out, so then the person was like, okay, I guess Google Maps wasn't wrong, I'll just go through there. The person was 5 seconds behind the last person who went into the door, and when they got to the other side, it was just a huge empty area under construction. Like I'm talking piles of sand and gravel, and the person who had been in front of them had just up and vanished. There was not a single person on the other side except a guy operating a huge cash Caterpillar tractor, and even he was looking at the guy like, what the hell are you doing here? The person then went back out the door, and everyone outside the door was just looking at him weirdly, and no one entered the door after he had gone in there. And I mean, I guess this dude found some secret wall where people from another dimension were just like respawning, like that was their like respawn area. Filling our number 7 slot is Je ne parle pas français. I can't speak French, but that's okay. This one's from Witty Repost, who said 7 years ago he woke up in bed with his now ex-girlfriend, and they both had a full 15-minute conversation in French, which is great. I mean, who doesn't love a bilingual hoe? I certainly do. Either way, he then got up, took a shower, and as he stood in the water, he had a major epiphany. Neither of them knew how to speak French. He then got out of the shower and asked her about it, and she said she had no idea how it happened, and neither of them could even figure out what they talked about because neither of them understood French. This was actually hilarious to me, but also what if they were both just mid-sleep talking gibberish to each other thinking it was French? Possible. Either way, c'est la vie, my friends. And I said I didn't speak French. I do. Now at number 6 is the brother. So this one was shared by an anonymous person who said this glitch happened to them back in 2008. Now what a great year for all of us that was. 2008 was the peak of my life and everything just went downhill after that, and I feel like many people my age agree with that sentiment. Tell me if your life went downhill in the comments below. Either way, the person had a bunch of friends and they'd all hang at this one person's shed. Now one night they were all there and the guy had to pee, so he walked out the shed and to the right. Now visually, as you walk out the shed, the house is on the left, and on the right are all the friends' cars and trees behind them. It was night at this point and the house lights were the only thing illuminating anything, so the guy went between the cars and house to piss, and all of a sudden he sees his friend's older brother just standing there. He was there for a good 10 seconds before he walked behind the trees and just disappeared creepily. Confused, the guy peed and went back into the shed and asked, "Oh, hey dude, what was your brother doing by the cars?" The friend goes, "What do you mean?" And the guy goes, he just walked into the woods. And then the brother, who was just sitting right there with a drink, is like, "Bro, I'm right here." And the brother had the same clothes, same everything. He was just sitting, chilling with a drink, and he couldn't have even gone inside the shed without the guy seeing him since he was standing in the way of the door, and the brother walked in the complete opposite direction away from the shed. So the guy had no idea how that happened, how he saw his brother. It was all just really screwed up. Coming in at number 5 is General Tao. I love General Tao chicken so much. I inhale that shit. But when a restaurant doesn't get it right, I'm like, how could you possibly mess up this classic dish? I'm offended. Either way, this one's from Redditor Hades Smiles, and he shared how him and his friend were at a Chinese restaurant and they ordered one General Tao dish and one shrimp lo mein dish. Oh my god, both those sound just so good right now. I'm sorry, you should ask Chris, our set manager. I'm literally hungry all the time. Either way, when their orders came, they set the 2 boxes apart on the table, and his friend goes and opens the first box. It's the shrimp lo mein. You've got your shrimp, your rice, your noodles, just heaven in a box really. Then the friend closes it so it doesn't get cold, and then opens the other box, and weirdly enough, that's also shrimp lo mein, and the boxes are identical. The user was disappointed and thought, okay, maybe the restaurant just messed up our order and gave us 2 shrimp lo meins, and as he goes to open the first box again, this time it's somehow General Tao chicken. Chicken, rice, egg roll, it has everything, and a second ago it was shrimp lo mein. The friends just looked at each other like, did we just, like what? Who? What even just happened? The boxes went from both being shrimp lo mein to somehow being the correct order. Now the boys sat there for 5 minutes staring at the wall trying to figure out how the hell that just happened, what just happened, and I can tell you it was a glitch, my dudes. That's all you need to know. Next. At number 4 is the 20-minute drive. So this one was submitted by Reddit to the third wheel, which honestly, yes, that is my life. Can we just talk about that for a second? Either way, the user shared that he's a satellite installer, and one day he was driving between Statesville and Taylorsville in North Carolina, which was approximately a 20-minute drive. Now the drive was a straight one-road drive with trees on both sides, like an isolated scenic drive, and the man was just listening to Howard Stern when he literally went from being wide awake to falling asleep. He hit a speed bump which woke him up, but weirdly enough he woke up and was at the same part of the podcast he'd been at before, except now his GPS signal claimed it was lost. Apparently, he was 12 miles further than where he should have been and he missed his exit by 5 miles. So how the hell did he fall asleep and not die first of all, wake up and not miss a single second of the podcast while somehow teleporting 12 miles away? Someone tell me. Filling our number 3 slot is the love life. This one's from an anonymous user who said years ago her and her now ex-boyfriend had just gotten together and she went and bought him some new shirts. What a good girlfriend, honestly. One of them was fully white and said love life in red bold letters on it, and it was a bit of an inside joke between them because, you know, they were in their honeymoon phase, so everything was butterflies and rainbows, and they even joked about calling their business Love Life. Either way, years passed and the relationship went to shit, as most of them do. The boy became abusive and the couple broke up. Ages later, the girl starts cleaning out his clothes from her closet and she finds the shirt. But the shirt says low life in red letters, not love life. And it had always said love life, so she was like, was I reading it wrong all these years? Did he change it? Like, what even? So she called up her ex to ask what the shirt had said, and he was like, it's always said love life. And then she showed him the shirt and he too freaked the hell out. That makes zero sense. Like, why would you even buy your boyfriend a shirt that says low life? Now the top somehow morphed and reflected the relationship and her douchebag of an ex, and I don't even know how they did that. Now at number 2 is the bear hug. This one's from Redditor desk_jockey26 who said when she was young, her dad used to wake up at 3 AM to go to work every day, and ever since she was little, she'd wake up at around that time and hug him goodbye. Now one morning when she was 4, she went down the stairs and saw that the front door was already ajar. She opened it and saw her dad in his favorite shirt going to his truck, and she was pissed. Now she yelled for him to come back for a hug before he left, and then he turned around and just stared at her. The staring was starting to get bizarre and the girl started getting scared, so she began crying and asking her dad what was wrong. He then started walking towards her, and when he was about to reach her, a huge pair of arms bear hugged her from behind. And when she turned around, she saw her dad. The dad outside looked at the dad inside and then ran away, and then the dad inside yanked the user inside and locked the door. The two were scared as hell since clearly the dad had just seen his own doppelganger in his driveway, so I mean, there's that. What the F was he doing there? And why was he in his house? That doesn't make sense. And finally, at number 1 is the connection. This one could very easily be a weird Wi-Fi connection thing or a technical difficulty, but I truly believe it was a glitch in the Matrix similar to the voicemail story. So either way, this one was shared by an anonymous person who said he was playing Minecraft over Skype with his friends one day when all of a sudden he's disconnected from Minecraft. Who plays Minecraft? Let me know below. I've played it like once or twice. Either way, he was still chatting with everyone on Skype, but his browser wasn't working, which was weird, so he told everyone, hold on, I'm just gonna check the router. He spent 5 minutes checking the router and it was A1, but it still wasn't connecting. He asked what to do and a friend said, you know, check if it's really plugged in or not, and then the guy realized, wait, how am I still even talking to you guys right now? And then he realized his Ethernet cable was unplugged, and as soon as he told his friends, the call disconnected. How did it take 7 minutes or so for the Skype connection to drop when everyone knows that once your Wi-Fi connection goes, that's it. Nothing will load, nothing will work unless you buffered it before losing connection, and Skype is already so shitty with Wi-Fi, let alone without. And that's all for today's video, guys. I hope the series keeps going and gets like part 10, because I'm so ready to read all these bizarre incidents while eating popcorn in my seat, all like excited and surprised. Let me know what you guys thought of these stories in the comments below, and tell me if anything similar has happened to you. I would love to know. As always, I'm your host Ayman Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Guys, so I may have pronounced General Tao chicken wrong. General Tao? General So? General Chow? Let me know what you say below.